Hey girls, I hope you're all doing well. Today we are going to be talking about the Adam's apple and what you can do about it as a trans woman. I just want to remind everybody that having an Adam's apple is actually completely normal and that regardless of how big yours is, you should never feel bad about it because literally every person on the planet is born with one. But having a more prominent Adam's apple is more common in people who were born male, so having one of these things is usually a source of distress for trans girls and trans feminine people who try to pass as cis women. Also, there are a lot of different nicknames that people have for Adam's apple. There's Madam's apple, Eve's apple, or the medical term for them, laryngeal prominence. Did I say that right?
A few minutes later.
Okay, so after some quick Googling, I did in fact say it right. So that's really cool. I'm not as stupid as I think. But anyway, laryngeal prominence is a source of distress for a ton of trans people. I myself used to be really insecure about the size of my Adam's apple, and that's perfectly fine because I know cis women, oh crap, I'm sorry, because, some people think cis is offensive, which it isn't. But anyway, there are plenty of cis people who have visible Adam's apples, including some members of my own family who are biological females. Like one of my sisters, she has an Adam's apple, like completely cis, born female, all of that stuff. She has a prominent laryngeal bone, or whatever the fuck. But anyway, enough beating around the bush. Today I will be discussing the 3 main methods that you can use to deal with your Adam's apple. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I will be starting with the method that I find to be the least effective, and I will end with the one that I consider to be the most effective. Let's get started with method number 1, tracheal shave surgery. This is a gender-affirming surgery that involves shaving down the bone that makes your Adam's apple appear so prominent, and I consider this to be the least effective method of these 3 because 1, it's expensive. It literally costs thousands of fucking dollars. And then reason number 2, it can mess with the sound of your voice. So if you're a trans girl and you have done voice training, or if you're just like me and you sound like a super effeminate gay guy, tracheal shave surgery can mess with the sound of your voice, and that sounds horrible. Thankfully, not everybody has voice changes when they get a tracheal shave surgery, because if the rate of your voice changing was 100%, I would not advocate for any trans girl ever to get that surgery. Lastly, and this is honestly the biggest reason for me, tracheal shave surgery sounds horrifying. Like, the prospect of having a surgeon cut my neck open just so they can shave down this stupid bone, that weirds me out so bad that I'm like, I am never doing that. Listen to me, girls. I will never get a tracheal shave surgery because even though it is effective at reducing, if not outright eliminating, the appearance of your Adam's apple, that is just way too scary for me to ever deal with. So yeah, the surgery is expensive, scary, and it can mess with your voice. So even though it is an effective method at dealing with an Adam's apple, I just consider that to be the worst option of the 3. Method number 2, covering it up. Yeah, this one might sound kind of obvious, but not only is it cheap and easy to do, it's also a really viable solution if you're a trans girl who struggles with passing or is afraid about not passing. Covering your Adam's apple by way of clothing or accessories is a very good way to feel safe and secure if you're a trans woman who is presenting femininely in public. There's a lot of different ways that you can cover up your Adam's apple in a natural way, like that one long sleeve and white shirt that I wear sometimes. it covers up my neck to about right here, so it does a pretty good job at concealing my Adam's apple. But there is one accessory that I consider to be the ultimate thing that you can use to conceal your laryngeal prominence. And that one thing is chokers. So I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat for this, but I really do believe that one of the reasons why chokers are so favored by trans girls is because they help cover up the Adam's apple. Some specific kinds of them do. Like, by the way, girls, I'm just going to tell you girls this right now. These stupid, simple heart chokers like this one and this one that you can get on Amazon for cheap, they don't cover up your Adam's apple very much, if at all. Like, you can see mine, like, pretty plain as day right here. Also because I don't have it tight enough to where it covers it, but like, if you plan on going the choker route to cover up your Adam's apple, you really want one that's like full leather all the way around. That is actually a really good strategy. These aren't, to be honest, but I don't really care too much because they're super cute. Like, I put this on and put my hair in a ponytail and I'm like, I look really fucking cute. But yeah, my big conspiracy is that the main reason why trans girls love these so much is because they cover up the Adam's apple. And also just because they're really cute. Like, trans girls love chokers for a reason. We're all subs. But anyway, the main reason why I consider this method to be more effective than tracheal shave surgery is, even though it's less permanent, like the second you take off your accessory or get undressed, your Adam's apple is going to be prevalent again, I still think that covering it up is an easier solution. It's also way cheaper, less invasive, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, if you're on a budget and you're really concerned about your Adam's apple, you could always just channel your inner Leafy is here and cover up your insecurities so people don't notice them. Except in this case, you're covering up your neck instead of your pathetically weak chin. And the number one way of dealing with an Adam's apple is you rock it. So I will be honest here, I totally understand if you consider this to be like a cop-out or a non-answer. However, I myself am in possession of an Adam's apple that is more than a little bit prominent. And I'm going to tell you girls right now, I kind of mentioned this at the start, but when I was a teenager, I used to be deathly insecure about my laryngeal prominence. But the years went on, I started to embrace my femininity, and I realized that the majority of people who are looking at women in public don't really notice their Adam's apple, like, at all. And even if I'm out in public and somebody clocks me as trans, it's usually not because of my Adam's apple. It's usually because of my voice, because I don't train my voice. This is just how my normal voice sounds. It's just, hey, look at me, I'm very gay. Now, which the interesting thing is, I get gendered correctly on the phone a lot nowadays. Like, I'll be speaking to someone in like customer service and they will say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And it's just like, what the fuck? How does that even happen? But above everything else, I am totally okay with being visibly trans. Like, if I don't fully pass for female, I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. I'm comfortable with my femininity. I look extremely androgynous and I like being androgynous. Gender, yeah. So like, that's why even though I do have an extremely prominent Adam's apple, it's something that I'm personally fine with. I normally just choose to rock it. That's why in these videos, I don't really wear like a shirt that covers it or a turtleneck or just a choker or anything. I'm not ashamed of it at all. Like, honestly, there are very few things I am ashamed of, so and the Adam's apple's not one of them. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I also do want to say that if you are insecure about your Adam's apple and you just can't bring yourself to own it like this, that's perfectly fine. Method number 2 is still really good. And method number 3 is fine, but extremely niche because, like, let's be honest, if you're a trans woman and you have thousands of dollars to spend on tracheal shave surgery, that is so much money you could instead spend on fashion, piercings, makeup, hormone therapy, so many things. So many things. But at the end of the day, the decision is ultimately up to you to decide what's more important. If completely passing for a cis woman is something that you really are aiming for, tracheal shave surgery is probably something you'll want. Unless you're one of the lucky trans women who just have no Adam's apple at all, like that Faye Mika chick. She's really cool. I like her a lot. Like, she's funny. But this bitch, that bitch has no Adam's apple at all. And it's like, very interesting. The Faye chick literally is trans, by the way. Like, she has before and after pictures of her transition. She's really funny, by the way. Go check her out. But anyway, that's pretty much going to be this whole video. I really hope you enjoyed watching. I'm really sorry about the noise you might hear upstairs, by the way. Those are the upstairs dogs tearing each other apart. They play super rough and they just go. But yeah, that's going to be the whole video. I will see you girls next time. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know when my next video is going to be uploaded, but hopefully it's soon because I had a lot of fun making this. Bye, girls.